Hey, before we get into it, I just want to shout out Christy Morgan, her retirement. I don't know if you know many better human beings than Christy Morgan. As an assistant, I knew her a little bit, but when I finally got the head job, I mean, she was so warm to me, so inviting, and like you talk about impact, right? And I think we all hope for that as coaches when it's all said and done, but impacting sure your immediate players, your coaching staff, all that stuff, but the whole community, man. She's an awesome human being, and I hope she can kick her feet up here and have a whatever it is she needs to be doing, wants to be doing. I hope she's doing it because that's a long, very very great impactful career. So shout out to Christy, man. Anyway. Yeah, it was. I mean, good game. I thought we executed what we wanted to. There was times I felt we could have got a little bit more out of our group, but it's hard to pick at that with the stats the way they are. I just thought, I don't know. I'm picking, man. I thought we could have rebounded better. I thought we had some silly turnovers we didn't really need. But I thought it was like an understanding of like we're going to get this done. And I tried to remind them. I just watched App State come back on Coastal Carolina. They were down 17 in the third and came back to I don't know if they tied it. It was definitely a one-possession game, though. So I'm glad we got the maturity to make sure we handled that. So good performance overall.
Yeah, ask the players when they're in here, but given that it's a 7-game win streak, 10 of the last 11, you've blown a lot of teams out and played pretty efficiently for the most part. Mm-hmm. Going into the last week of the regular season, is it kind of where you want to be? Does it feel like you're peaking at the right time, maybe with this group?
I mean, that's the hope, right? And I really with this group, I think it can be a point of frustration if you're looking back at like, hey, we're looking back, we're looking at the standings. Man, we lost that game. We shouldn't. Like, that's all in the past, man. So we've really focused on moving forward and getting the rhythm that we need to win multiple games in a row. And so I know we're playing well. I think we figured out some things. But that process is going to be ongoing, right? And the hope, Shane, right? That's what I think every coach sets out to do is like get them playing their best basketball at the right time. We're playing pretty well. And I think what I like about us is like we're hitting you a lot of different ways. I thought Bree and Zakaya were awesome today. Combined 11 assists. They're. I mean, I don't know another backcourt that defends that well for that long, as consistently as those two. So, I know they had 2 turnovers each, but they're going to have some as ball handlers. And those are not the headliners, right? P and Shanti are going to stick out to everybody, but I thought those two really set the tone defensively, and I got a lot of faith in those two in the backcourt. So it's a long answer to your question, but yeah, I think we're getting better, and I think we're on the way up. We got to continue that and stay hungry, which I think you can do because it's such a short window before it's here. So now you're not doing this 6 games in, and you got to sustain it for 12, right? You got 2 games left, and 2 weeks from today, you're in a tournament game. That's a fact. So, I think we're getting there. Is what closest. Yeah, we're getting there.
And did you like the way that they, I guess, addressed what you probably talked about in the scouting report and everything? Given that you played this team so recently and were able to you got a win down there, but obviously a better performance today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we worked on that a lot. And I think what this group has shown me is like the maturity of that in being able to learn that from film. And AT did a great job with the scout. We were really like, why are we leaving our feet? Like, stay down. Even though they can shoot, like, stay down and keep them in front. And I thought we had a couple people leave their feet today, but not like we did down there. And down there, I think, and Peyton made a comment to me kind of 2 days ago maybe, and it was like we didn't really quite – it's so hard to simulate their defense because it's so different that it took us a second to get our feet on the ground down there, right? And then by the fourth, we'd figured it out. I think we scored 23 points in the fourth down there. And I think that was a little bit more than the defensive part of it. But like, they're we had to use the philosophy of like, hey, we're going to run Rocket, right? And Rocket's got P on a flare and Shanti on a slip and Bree over here and Grace over here. It's like, just because the play is for P and Barnes, like Bree has to be ready because of how they play defense, right? It's like all of a sudden they switch, boom, we got to be able to do that. So we said everybody's got to be ready on every play. And I think buying into that, I thought we were pretty good with that today too. But the schedule's weird, right? We're going to turn around and play ODU, and it's the same thing. It's a week and a half. The only difference here is like I think App State had our attention because it was such a tight game. ODU was not a tight game, but like I think they still got our attention in the sense that they're ODU and it means something to us. But it was a really good execution of the game plan today for our kids.
One of the things that was a key point for App State was keeping you limited under 10 assists is what the objective was. Kind of interesting. I've never heard a coach say that's what we want to do. We want to keep them to assists. It makes some sense, but it's kind of hard to do, I would think, just to look at that particular statistic. That was kind of interesting in coming in, but the amount of assists that you're getting at this time of year, do you recall a time in the 10 years that this has been happening?
No. I really can't. And we've had some good teams, but I don't recall that level of it. And I think that's why I have so much faith in how well we're playing, because you're sharing it, you're doing it together. I think towards the end of years, right, you can start getting antsy about an all-conference selection, right, or a player of the year, rookie of the year. And it's like, yeah, but I got 8. I got to go, and I'm just not sensing any of that. And I do give credit, like, I think Zakiya is absolutely brilliant when she's locked into passing the ball. It doesn't mean she's not brilliant scoring the ball, but like she does stuff that I didn't see that, and she does such a great job with that, man. And I really hope the more she does it, the more special she understands it is, because it is special. But that's an interesting thing. And you know what? I was talking with Kenny actually about that, because I think there is a defensive philosophy of like no help, right? And you're going to have to beat me one-on-one. And I think we could do that too if that's what people chose to do. But it's an interesting thing because if you do that, I'll never forget, we played DePaul in an NCAA tournament down in Louisville. And, man, they denied Jazz, they denied Ashley Perez, and they let Muff go one-on-one. And Muff, that's not Muff's game. Really smart game plan by Doug Bruno. But it's an interesting idea. I'm not ready for that idea, but it's an interesting idea.
How comforting is it to have a player like Bree Robinson, who a week ago today pumps in 30, and today she gets a good defensive assignment and lets the game come to her? Just to have that maturity it's got to be just really easy for you, so to speak. Yeah,
and it's what I was really pleased with her. We talked about it because she had a stretch. It was like UMass and then this App game, I think it was. And like I said, look, man, you're not going to go 13 for 19 every game. So, like, all right, when you've gone 0 for 4, like, let's get to the free throw line, right? And she gave me one little look after she got her first 2 free throws. Like, yeah, like, get to the free throw line, get you 2 points, ball goes in the basket. And that's what it is, man. The mentality with her is just strengthening more and more. And again, I thought she was patient today. She guarded their best player, Emma Smith, you can say is their best player. I think she is. Guarded her almost the whole game, and again, was patient after feeling good about 30. But I think if this team continues to buy into just making the next right play, I think we'll have some really good results. It's not always that easy, but
you were kind of hard on yourself being picky on situations, but one of the conversations that came out with talking to coaches this time of year, the teams that are the real threats to win this thing are playing 40-minute games. Mm-hmm. So the margin for error to win this at this time of year is very small.
Correct.
Is that why you're picking at yourself on some of these things
Yeah.
and your team?
Yeah, because that's what you know. Everybody here knows you can't play a 25-minute game in a Sun Belt Conference semifinal. You can't do that. So what are we practicing? Like what behavior are we practicing? And that's the goal. I don't care where we are in the standings. That's the whole goal. And I've referenced it this week. Sheila Mormon came to practice. This is a long time ago, but she said February gets you one way or another. And you either go, I'm tired of this, I'm over this, like I don't really care that much, or the good teams bind together and they see the end, they see the reward, they see the pot at the end of the rainbow, so to speak. And so we were joking, like, it's the dog days of February. Well, yeah, we're the dogs, man. We're going to be dogs in February. That's what we're going to do. And so I don't know if that has anything to do with this, right? But it is what it is, man. It's such a long season, and there are teams out there that are fizzling right now, and we're not that. And so that's certainly a positive.
Coach O, we've talked about developing Grace's game tonight. From my perspective, at least, we saw a little bit more aggression from her than we normally see. That might be partly with how they were defending her, but is that something you've been developing, trying to put an emphasis on with her? Yeah,
from day one, I was, and I said it with Corey, but man, it's awesome to see her show a little scrap, getting a little scuffle there. Like, all right, man. No, I just think she's just getting better. And better and better and better and better. And like that kid, I thought, I'm not going to try to pronounce her name. I thought that kid's pretty good. And for Grace to go in there, battle with her, she's 7 points, 5 rebounds, and some tough plays. I was really impressed with her. And I just continue to be. God bless you. Right? And it's growing. And I think when you're Grace, God bless you again, when you're Grace, like, you have to understand being a starter and playing starter minutes. Like, that doesn't come with all good, right? There's plenty of mistakes, or there's plenty of negatives that come up. It's your bounce back, right? It's your bounce back. And I think the amount of time we've spent on it and throughout her year, I think she's really starting to understand that and really, really getting confident in herself, which is really fun to watch. But a little scrapper. She got that black eye. She thinks she can scrap now, Good.
Coach,
oh.
We just talked about, you just played Old Dominion a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Again. Is it as much this week, is it going to be prepping for Old Dominion, or is it going to be tweaking James Madison?
Good question. A little bit of both. I just think this time of year, right, and use this game, right, you have to come up with a couple different new things for App. Like, we had a couple different new plays because of their defense. So we'll have a couple of those things for ODU. But you know how it is. It's February 21st. Like, you are kind of who you are. Like, let's really focus on us. So we'll continue to do that. But I think we're in a really good routine. I think how we're teaching stuff is really good. There's a regiment to it, and I think that helps a lot of players because it's not random, right? You're going to, on Monday, we'll have stations about maybe their 2 best actions, and we'll make sure we get that straight. I think their expectations and what happens in practice are pretty much aligned, so we kind of know what it is. But a little bit of both is my answer.